Hi guys, Nikhil here. Welcome to Salesforce Troop. This is the second session of our LWC testing with Jess series. And today we're going to learn the testing of data binding and events. So let's move on to our VS Code. So in VS Code, I already created a component, my event testing. So you all know how to create a component. In this component, I'm using a p tag that will show me the binding data with the greeting. I'll zoom it my code a little bit. Yeah, and I have an input field that has a label name. I have a event handler on change, and it will call the handle change event handler. And as soon as the event comes, we are updating the value of greeting. And how it works, I'll show you in the playground. I already copy pasted this component. So by default, it's hello world in the p tag because we are passing the world property to our world data to our property greeting, and by default greeting set to the input. As soon as I change, it will start changing the value in the p tag as well as in the input field. So this is what we're going to test. First we're going to test the what's the value in the p tag, then we'll see on change in the value of the input field are the value of p tag is changing or not. This is how we're going to test our first binding, and then we'll test our events. Okay, so let's go to our VS Code back. We'll create the test folder, that is underscore underscore test underscore underscore. Now you already know how to create that. Apart from that, we're gonna create a test file that is my event testing test.js. So the extension should be .test.js. The component's name should be same. And now my testing component is ready, and testing file I would say is ready. So we'll start writing it. So first thing we need to import is create element from LWC package. That will help us building our component to our DOM. Then the component that we want to test, that name is my event testing, and our component name is exactly, you can copy paste from JS file, that is my event, my is capital, and from C/my testing path is a namespace here. So we are importing our my event testing component. We have import the create element. Then we'll create a describe block, and we know now it takes a name for our test suite. So I'll say C colon my event hyphen testing. So I have given a name as of my component name on the test suite, and I'll say it's as a suite, so it gives us a meaningful name. And inside this we have a function. The second parameter is a function of this describe block. Here we're going to write our rest of the test cases. So we know to write the test case we can use it block or the test block. I prefer the test block, and here I'll write a message for my particular text. So I'll say test default greet value should be hello comma world exclamation mark. This is the meaningful message for my test block. And under this second parameter or the function, we're going to write our test suite. So we know first thing we need to create an element, and to create an element we know we need to use create element function that we are importing. And within this, what type of element you want to create, we want to create a my event testing element, and you can call this event with the way you want to create. So I'll say my event should be C hyphen my hyphen event hyphen testing. The same way you call the event in your parent-child relationship, like this we usually call. So it will create the component like this in the JS DOM. So we are saying create an element of c hyphen my hyphen event hyphen testing, and once the element is created, load the my event testing HTML inside this tag. So it will create the c hyphen my hyphen event testing tag, and it loads the my event testing HTML to this. So now our component is ready, and now we'll try to append this element to the body tag of our DOM. So to do that, we'll say document dot body dot append child. So we are appending a child to the body tag, and we assign this element. So now our element is assigned to the body as well. Now we'll start writing our test class, like the testing that we want to do exactly. So to do that, for what I want, first thing is I want to fetch the data that is coming here. So by default, it's coming hello, comma, world, exclamation mark. So we'll check, we'll fetch the data of p tag, and to fetch the data, we know we can use element dot shadow root dot query selector, and we'll use p tag. So it will bring the p tag element. I'll store this under a variable text, and then I'll start asserting it. I'll say I'm expecting the p tag text content to be is to validate, this is our measure, so we are validating whatever the text we are fetching from the p tag, it should be hello, comma, space, world, w should be capital, and the exclamation mark. So our first test case is ready, and I'll go to the package.json, and our scripts are already in place, and to run the test case, we already know we can write npm run test colon unit colon watch, and to run a particular folder only, like I want to run the test case only for my event testing folder. So I'll just drag the path, and I'll hit the enter. So it start testing and keep an eye. So our watch will always keep an eye in the testing file. So I hit enter. So the test cases has been passed. I guess it run the test cases for both the file, for my first component as well as my event testing. That will see why it's running for both, but the test cases is passing. So you can see here in the file it says my event testing test case is pass. So the test case has been passed, whatever we have written. So I'll show you another approach, like you can assert negatively as well. So right now we are saying we want the text to be hello world. So I'll copy paste the same test block, paste it again. I'll say test default greet value should not be hello Nikhil. Okay, so this is, I'm asserting against that, and I'll replace instead of Nikhil, and now the method should be, it's like earlier we were using to be, now I'll say dot not dot to be. So this is how you can assert negatively. So I'm saying whatever the content come, it should not equal to hello Nikhil, and it will run our test case automatically because we are in the watch mode. So let's wait and see. And here it passed our test cases as well. So now our test cases has been passed. For my event, it's passed. Now if we have many test cases in a single file, it's not looks good to, or not readable even, like creating an element and appending it to DOM every time. So to solve this issue, we have another block that is before each. So I'll create before each block that will run before every test block. So if this test block is about to run, first this will run. When it comes to this test block, again this for each block will run. Okay, and we'll move this thing to the before each block. Now we are saying before running the test block, run this. every time do this automatically, will not create it again and again. But the thing is, in the test block, we are expecting element, and within the for each, we are using element with the const keyword, and const keyword is a block level element, and it's not recommend to move this to a var keyword. And so that what we're gonna do is first our element got created, then the element gets append to the body. If it's append to the body, we can query that element easily. And to query that, we can use document dot query selector, and from that query selector I can fetch the element with the element tag, that is c hyphen my hyphen event testing, and I'll store that inside a variable element. So likewise you can call the element, so this element can be available for in the next line to query the p tag. Same line you can use it here. So likewise you can reduce the writing of your creating an element and appending to the body again and again. So this is a use case of before each, a real time use case I showed you. So till now we have achieved whatever you are initializing, like hello world by default. So we are saying, we are asserting whether the p tag has that text or not. So by default validation is completed. Now we want to write a test case in which on change we want to validate whether the p tag is updating or not, and that is little bit tricky but not complicated. So let's write another test block, and we'll say test change event value. I'll create the test block. So our test block is ready. First thing, we want to bring the element, that's we use as it is. Then the second thing we want to use is, we want the input field to be no, so that we can fetch the value of the input field. And to call that, we can use element dot shadow root dot query selector, and in query selector you can pass the tag name, that is lightning input. This will give you the reference of the lightning input field, and we'll store this inside a variable called input element. So now you have a reference of input element, and we can update the value of the input by saying input element dot value equal to Salesforce. So now I'm changing the value in the input to Salesforce. And then what I'm trying to do here is, I'll say whenever the value gets changed, trigger an event. And to trigger an event, we need to call a dispatch event. And in the dispatch event, we'll create a custom event that you already know how we use in JavaScript as well as in the child to parent communication of LWC. So we'll say create a new custom event, and custom event name should be change. So the event name should be the same that you are using here in your lightning input. In our case, on change. On keyword is used when we use the event name in the HTML, but when we use that event name in JavaScript, we'll ignore that on. So that's why we are saying we are creating an or dispatching an event change. So it automatically trigger this event, that is on change, and it call the handle change, and it trigger this internally. Okay, so now it trigger that. So this trigger can is a asynchronous operation, right? So to make sure, like, because our DOM updates asynchronously, and we have to make sure like all the updation has been completed. To solve this issue, we'll write a promise here. We'll say return promise dot resolve. So if you guys know how event loop work, this is very clear because this updation is asynchronous, and we know that like if we call a promise dot resolve, it will go to the micro task loop, and it will run once all the normal updation completed. And I'll say then once the promise resolve that completed, means all the DOM updation, asynchronous DOM updation is completed. Now we're gonna test. We are expecting a text. What is text here? Will call our p tag. We'll say give us the reference of p tag element dot shadow root query selector p tag. I'll say text dot text content dot to be, and now ideally the text should be hello Salesforce. So we'll assert against hello Salesforce and exclamation mark. So if it passes, it means our value is updating properly. I'll repeat this again quickly. So first we said take the reference of the element, and using that element find the input field. In the input field update the value to Salesforce. As soon as you update the value, dispatch an event change. So immediately on change will get trigger. It comes to this line. Handle change gets called. It updates the value to Salesforce to the greeting, and it updates the value here hello Salesforce. Then we are saying fetch the value of p tag now after updating. So value of p tags comes hello Salesforce if it's updated correctly, and after the promise resolve, because the updation is asynchronous, it takes time. So we are making sure it's updated using the promise dot resolve, and we are checking now the text content of the p tag is hello Salesforce or not. And now you can see that as we were in the watch mode, our my event test dot my event testing dot test dot js is passed, and it's passing perfectly fine. So this is how you run your event as well as bind testing. So if you guys have any doubt or any question related to these two operations, you can ask me. It's pretty easy. The same thing we are trying to achieve in a different way. First we tried with the positive, then we tried with the not dot to be, then we tried input on change event, and similarly the on click will work. So you don't need to worry about. You should know the basic fundamentals, how to achieve the events, how to achieve the binding by default bindings. And I guess this is what I have for today's session. And in next session we'll try to see the conditional rendering, how we can test. It's also going to be the same, but it's better to have an understanding how conditional rendering of HTML will work. Then we'll move on to our another one, that is looping testing. So I hope this lecture was helpful for you guys, and if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment box. And thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.